Hi, I'm Meliisa, the host of The Ripple Effect. And today, my guest is what I like to call radioactive. What do I mean by that? Well, stay tuned and you'll find out next on The Ripple Effect.
What is the ripple effect? Every thought and every action has a reaction that is felt out in the universe.
There is only one art. That art is you.
On my show, I feature everyday people that are positively changing the lives of other people.
What I do and who I am made a difference in those people's life.
Just as a single drop of water sends ripples out into a pond, the actions of every individual are felt in the universe.
It only takes a split second to cause a ripple.
What ripples are you sending?
Hi, I'm Meliisa, the host of The Ripple Effect, and today my guest is Jennifer Hammond. Jennifer is the host of XM Radio's The Jennifer Hammond Show. Yay! Yay! And she's also known for her Jennifer Hammond, yay! You have such a contagious energy. We've been sitting here giggling for a few minutes, and I just always love spending time with you.
Thank you.
Today I want to talk to you about a few things. I want to start with a big announcement that you have coming up. I mean, I'll let you go ahead and make the big announcement, but it's a big accomplishment.
It is, because it's taken me a long time to do this. So one of my passions is helping veterans.
Right.
And specifically because I work in real estate, I'm really passionate about helping anyone find a home, but a home that they feel that is safe and, quite frankly, that's affordable. And so many veterans, even now the statistics are still close to 50,000 veterans do not have a place to sleep at night, every single night. And I thought that was so horrible. And I had done so many radio shows about veterans and homelessness, and there's so many different causes of it. So over the last year and a half, I've actually partnered with a Hero Foundation on putting together a book. And it is a resource guide. It's 101 plus resources for veterans.
That's amazing. So resources in what sense? To help them get into a home, or just to help them find maybe some funding to purchase homes that people aren't necessarily aware of?
All of the above.
Okay.
Because what I found with the homelessness is that there's not just one cause.
Right.
So we needed to find all these different things. So what the guide is actually broken up into different categories. So if you're looking for employment, there are all of these amazing nonprofits and organizations, even some for-profit organizations, that will help you with employment if they like to hire veterans. Or, for instance, if you would like to be an entrepreneur, if you're a veteran who's now come out and you'd like to be an entrepreneur, there are all of these amazing resources. But then if there's health challenges, and it might be one of the tougher subjects that I took on was mental health with veterans. And there are many, many resources out there. If a veteran wanted to go and work with horses, or if a veteran wanted to actually be an author and write their story and get all of their heartfelt feelings out there so that people really understood what it's like right now to go to war and to come home from war. So there are all sorts of ways that you can really get through a lot of this post-traumatic stress. Right. We called it shell shock years ago, but whatever generation of a veteran that is there, there's so many health issues, whether they're mental health or whatnot. So there are all these resources in there. And then the ending of the book, we have all these government resources as well. So one of the other big ones we have is, like, for instance, the USDA has a program that helps veterans learn to become farmers.
That is interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Why do you think they went with the farming?
Well, I think they're used to hard work. I mean, most military people work really, really difficult jobs.
Under very tough circumstances as well.
And farming isn't an easy job right now.
No, it's not. It's a lot of work.
Right.
I live in an agricultural community, so I know how hard and unpredictable that it can be as well, with weather and just different environmental factors. But that's really... I'm really excited about this book, and I know it's going to help a lot of people. And we're here in LA, and as I was driving in, I saw a lot of homeless people, and you really, it really touches your heart. And the problem is very real. Yeah. And it's not. I think for me, what I'm finding is that what I think of as homeless is different now. It's men and women and children that are living on the streets.
And that was the saddest thing. Recently I had Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who's from the California area, on the show. We were talking about veterans and homelessness, and she revealed something I didn't know, which was the population of veterans that are homeless that is increasing right now is women who are single moms.
And that's what I saw last night. I saw a mom kind of setting up a makeshift tent or shelter for her and her young child. And I was struck by the real need to do something more. These men and women, I don't know what her story is, and I don't know if she's a veteran or not, but the problem, taking it on from just the perspective of the returning veterans and how pervasive that problem really is. It's staggering, the statistics.
And the causes are not simple. There's so many different things, and that's why the resource guide. Once I started putting it together, I realized this was going to be a lifelong project. This is not a one-off book, unfortunately. And now I've realized that every year we're going to have to update it. And also, when I partnered with a Hero Foundation, they're also putting it on their website so that people can email in. So if you know of a place, you want to give us an email, send us an email. And we'll look at every single organization, and we do some vetting. We don't do financial vetting, so we don't do an accounting forensics examination of them. But we do some vetting to make sure that these are organizations that will pick up the phone and that are really helping veterans. So
that's wonderful, and I'm glad that you're doing that. I mean, you never can vet any company or organization entirely, but I think it's very noble and that you're doing that, because oftentimes people don't, and they just
Well, and if I can, I'd love to share the story of my why.
Yes, please.
So when I was a child and I got to be a teenager in Florida, my mom was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and my sister was already in foster care, and my brother had already left as well. He had ended up finding my dad and moved away. And my mother had gone into one of her drunken drug rages and decided that I no longer should live in the house. So she threw all my stuff on the front yard. And one of the girls at school, she took me home, and her family was a military family on base, enlisted. And he risked his entire military career to have this, stranger teenage child come into his house. And that family just adopted me, and I got to finish high school, and then I went on for college and a master's degree and many, many other wonderful successes in life. But if it hadn't been for that military family who just opened up their home when they didn't have a lot, but they still opened up their home and took me in. And so I've always wanted to be able to give back to military families, because for me, if it hadn't been for that military family, I wouldn't have been put on the road that I was so lucky to have.
That's a very touching story, Jennifer. Wow, that is, it's remarkable, the things that, you've been through. And you have truly created this really successful, wonderful life. You're one of the happiest people I know. And you really do serve other people, and it's a part of what you do daily. You're educating people, you're supporting people, you're mentoring young men and women, and you are constantly giving back. So aside from this project, well, actually, how can people support you? Where can they find your book, and how can they help support what you're doing?
Thank you. It's 101 Resources for Veterans, and you can find it on Amazon.com. So it's very easy, just 101 Resources for Veterans.
Okay, and it's Jennifer Hammond, Hammond.
Thank you.
Okay, make sure that they know how to spell that. So tell me, what's next? Now that you've got the book done and it's coming out, what's next for you, Jennifer?
And I have a publisher, and we're putting together a 10-book series for real estate. So I'm going to do a lot more books. This was just my first one, and this is my passion project. The Veterans book isn't something that I'll make money on. It's something where all the proceeds will go back to charities that benefit veterans. However, the real estate books, now I'm really interested in making sure that we make it very simple and easy for people to find a safe and affordable home. Because so many people, when you were in school, you never had that education. Nobody taught you how to buy a home. And yet, that's one of the biggest financial decisions you need to make in life.
Right.
So it's very important to me that people understand what is a good decision versus what is a bad decision. You may think you've made good decisions before, but I bet you could make even better ones. And so many people have actually dreamt of becoming a real estate investor and having that passive income. So my passion is making sure that that information's out there, that I'm making it so that it's acceptable, but also that people can apply it. Because there's one thing to get information, but then if you can't apply it.
Yeah, that's very true. And the resources, just knowing what's out there that can be used to help you and assist you. You have a radio show, a very popular radio show on Sirius XM. It's called The Jennifer Hammond Show. And I was recently out, I made the trip out to be on there. It was wonderful, but you told me something, and I don't think many people would really connect this, but your radio show actually has saved lives on the topic of real estate.
It has. It was so funny because I got the radio show in such an odd way, but when I got it, you know, I started thinking, well, what does this matter? Does this really matter? And then I got this phone call, and it was shocking and touching, and it really helped me in so many ways to understand why I needed to continue doing the radio show. This woman called me, and she was about to commit suicide. It was actually her and her husband, and she actually had 2 children. And it's such a sad story because she was so underwater with her house, she didn't know what to do. Now, this isn't somebody who had called me. This isn't somebody who had even called into my show because my show is live. Right. She hadn't done any of those things. She hadn't contacted me, but she got information from my show that helped her understand how to save her house. Now, she said the words to me, which I told you, 3 people walk this planet because of your radio show, Jennifer Hammond. And that still gives me goosebumps to this day because her husband did commit suicide. And it was so sad, but to know that it helped anybody, but her and her kids are still around and they have a home because of things that they had learned. And that's when I thought, I'll never ever stop giving information out and making sure that I either have a radio show, a television show, something where I can really help people and they don't ever have to feel like they're homeless or like their only option is suicide.
Yeah, you just really have taken your show and really transformed a lot of people's lives. But I think the one thing about you, Jennifer, that I always really am touched by is just how much you care. You truly care about the people that are listening. Your listeners are your friends. You know, you interact with them, and you're very excited to hear from them.
I get so happy.
Exactly.
With all their successes, and I have them call the show, and they tell me their successes, and it makes you so happy.
I know, and you just, you know, it's contagious. Your happiness is so awesome. But we're going to have to take a break. But when we come back, I want to talk to you about the mentorship that you are very committed to. I am. So I'm Meliisa Hull. This is The Ripple Effect. My guest is Jennifer Hammond. You're not going to want to miss what we have coming up next, so stay tuned.
Yeah, be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Yeah, let's just do what we came to do. Just vibe with it, vibe with it.
Welcome back. I'm Meliisa Hull. This is The Ripple Effect, and my guest is Jennifer Hammond of The Jennifer Hammond Show on XM Radio and the author of a book. I'm sorry, could you repeat the title?
101 Resources for Veterans.
101 Resources for Veterans, available on Amazon. Very nice. And congratulations. That's really a wonderful accomplishment. So before we went to break, I had mentioned that you are committed to mentoring other men and women. What makes you so committed to continuing to do that? Why is it important to you?
One of the things that I realized is that I've had throughout my life, there have been people that have helped me at really critical times and also inspired me. And what I realized is that if I could help someone else, men and women, so I have this internship program, and it's so much fun because I love watching these students grow. And it's high school students, college students, and I love my high school students when they come to me and they're like, I can't believe you hired me. And I said, well, of course. And they're some of the hardest workers. And I love that because, again, it gives them an opportunity to see, is radio something they're interested in? Do they like marketing? Do they want to do social media? Do they like filming? What do they really like? And to me, if you get that experience, like I was pre-law, and I'm so glad I did an internship for a judge.
You decided law wasn't for you.
Not for me.
So you get to try it on for a little while and see if it's a good fit. So how many interns have you had at this point?
Gosh, probably about 30 interns over the last.
That's quite a lot. And do you still stay in touch and contact?
I do, and they send me videos, and it's so beautiful because they've started a campaign. They want to put me on the Ellen Show, which is hysterical because they have learned so much, and they're so grateful to have, again, like what you do, helping other women really, you know, blossom in one way or another. And we want to help everybody, but a lot of times, unfortunately, women haven't always been supportive of other women when you're becoming successful.
That's jealousy. So true. I think it's called the queen bee syndrome.
Yeah.
And I've never really understood it. I'm not a woman that is like that. I'm like, hey, the more the merrier. Right. You know, I love co-collaborating with people and creating together. Jennifer, do you mentor like other adults? Do you have an adult coaching program? How can a person who is going to watch this, if they're wanting to gain some insight and wisdom from you, how can they do that?
So if they go to my website at Jennifer H Realty, so Jennifer and then H for Hammond, and then Realty, REALTY.
I'll make sure we have the link here.
Okay, good. The Jennifer H Realty, we have some free reports for them, but I also have a few programs, a few online programs that I've created. One is just how to create your A-team, because everybody needs to create their A-team around them, especially in real estate. You need to have a real estate lawyer, you need to have a realtor, you need to have someone who's going to help you with the home inspection, you need someone who's going to help you with insurance. So who are those people? How do you interview them? How do you find them? How do you hire them? You know, how do you create a relationship that's a lifelong relationship, not just a one-off relationship with them? So that's an A-team program. Then I also have a program that helps people with staging. So if you're going to sell a house, whether you're a real estate agent, whether you're an investor, or you're the homeowner yourself, staging is an entire art. It's just like setting up a set or setting up, you know, movies or things of that nature. All the world's a stage.
It is. It is. And I've always been told by other realtors that staging is one of the most crucial factors with, you know, getting the pricing for the home that you're selling that you want.
And selling it in less time, because the more the place just is beautiful and people walk in and go, well, I want to live here.
Right.
You know, that makes them feel like this is the one and they're ready to write the offer and sign the contract. Whereas if they're there's something wrong with it, like in that course, there's one of the chapters I have that's called Smells That Sell versus Smells That Kill a Deal. And that's a problem, because if you have like the dog smells, now I love dogs.
Right.
But sometimes the dog odors can be a little.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm a dog owner, so I understand what you're saying. But okay, I'm curious. What are the smells that sell? I just have to know.
You gotta know.
I'm guessing cookies, maybe chocolate chip cookies.
Well, and that's for like open houses and things like that. Baking bread, baking cookies. We all love the home cooked smells. So those are important. That they're kind of the generic ones. You know, not necessarily your Thai food or things that are a little bit too spicy, because not everybody likes that. But also the interesting things are things like a bowl of lemons.
Okay.
Like lemons will neutralize a lot of odors. So if you have a big bowl of lemons or limes, lemons and limes, things of that nature, you can even have beautiful flowers that are in water with a lot of lemons in it, and that literally will neutralize a lot of those odors.
That is that's a great tip.
Yeah.
Very nice tip. Wonderful. So Jennifer, what's next? You're a mover, you're a shaker, you're a social influencer. So what else is there like left for you to accomplish? What's on that bucket list of yours?
Well, one of them is a television show, like
That's
what you're
right.
doing. And then other one is that, you know, I told you before that I love to work with my brother. My brother works in helping not only children but adults find, as he calls it, their musical instrument, whether it's singing, whether it's playing guitar, and he believes we can create world peace through uniting the world through music. So
I love that.
We're creating, like we just did one a few weeks ago where we had 70 cities around the world all singing a song of peace.
That is amazing. So did that air? How was that?
It was aired on Facebook, and so they did Facebook Live all around the world, and it was beautiful. And then we're going to keep doing it. That was on the summer solstice. We're going to keep doing it on the winter solstice. So twice a year, we're going to just keep coordinating this. And I'm learning to play the guitar.
Oh, very nice.
Don't really know much about it yet, but I know my G chord.
You know, I've tried. I need to practice more. That's my biggest problem, is practicing. Yes. That's wonderful. Yeah. And how fun to be able to do that with your brother. It is. I know how important he is to you. You're huge heart. Jennifer, I am so inspired by your generosity, and you're passionate about giving and serving and just being kind of that beacon of goodness and kindness and happiness. You're like just exactly.
True. And thank you for having me on the show. It's been such a pleasure. As I get to know you, I'm so impressed with you. Thank you, thank you.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. So just to recap, how can people find you if they're wanting to get advice on real estate or just ask, how they can get involved with supporting veterans?
So the book is 101 Resources for Veterans. So again, on Amazon.com, 101 Resources for Veterans. And then on my website is Jennifer H. Realty. So Jennifer H. Realty, and that's where we have free reports. We also have the online courses, and then all the social media is Jennifer H. Realty. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of it.
And we'll make sure to have all of that available. We'll post it. When is the next book coming out?
The fall.
The fall.
Yes, it's actually mostly written, which makes me feel good.
That's great.
It's just getting started in real estate. So the first one, we wanted to do 10 books. So we're going to really make it so that it's easy. People don't have a long attention span these days.
No, not anymore. I think it's 3 seconds for a video. Yeah, we're about a 3-second society anymore. So you really have to be talking about something really interesting to hold someone's attention. So you're right. Well, that's wonderful. So will you come back and tell us about the book in the fall? I would love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
It's
you're
such a pleasure.
You're just a joy. Yay! The Jennifer Hammond, yay! And I want to thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. And again, if you would like to learn more from Jennifer, please visit her website and just reach out to her. She's an amazing woman who would love to help you, I know. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.